This is Real Estate from an attorney's perspective. I'm Bill Mason from Mason & Mason, and today we're going to discuss negotiating the purchase of real estate. So negotiating the purchase of real estate can be a daunting task for anybody. I think that when you negotiate real estate, you have to have a strategy just like anything else. And what I want to do today is give you an idea of some of the negotiating tactics that you can use to increase your chances of success. All right. So the first thing that I do is I try to do some research. The adage in real estate is location, 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 right? So I think when you're negotiating, the adage for that should be data, 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 so that when you make an offer and when you're negotiating, you're not basing your negotiation off of emotions or what you think. It's basically really tight data that you can come in with a good idea of what the property's worth. And, you know, without the research, you're not going to really know. So I look into, market comparables. I look into how long properties stay on the market. Are there other properties that are similar to my property I'm looking at on the market? And that could be a competing property for this property. And then I not only do that, if there's a listing agent involved, I try to get from the listing agent, or if I'm dealing with the seller directly, the information that I can that will give me an idea of what would motivate them to possibly sell, right? So not everybody is selling for the same reason. And that's all valuable information that you can use when you make your offer. And then when you make your offer, you want to make a strong offer, right? So when making an offer, you want to highlight the strongest parts of your offer to the seller, whether it be the price, the amount of your down payment, the ability to close quickly, that it's all cash, no financing conditions, or any other thing that you have that might motivate the seller, okay? And it's important to make that strong initial offer based off of your research and the property's value. If you just come in with like a lowball offer, that might alienate the seller and make it more difficult to negotiate a deal. So what I like to do is figure out what I think the property's worth and come in at a price that's a little lower than what I think the seller will accept. And then what it does is it gives me a chance to negotiate a little and also be in there with the seller and see if there's any other motivating factors that maybe that I can change my offer, whether it's being like an all cash deal or closing quicker, rather than going up on the price, and you work from there, right? And another thing I believe in is negotiation should be a win-win perspective. Some people start every negotiation as they were just going into battle, and this will likely shut down the communications and annoy the other side of the deal. Instead, whenever possible, allow the other side to set out their positions so you can understand what they're looking for. Listen to and understand what they have to say before you formulate a response. Work out understanding what each party is seeking and focus on solutions and keep open the communications between the parties, okay? So this is like an important thing to think about, all right? Be prepared that you may not only be negotiating on price. That's not always the thing. I think I touched on that before, but some people, their motivation is I just need to sell right away. Maybe they have another property they need to buy, or there's some other reason. So just listen and be open and try to figure out how you can make it work. And I think before you even make an offer, you should have a budget on what you're not going to go higher on the property. This way you don't overpay or overextend yourself. And I usually like to come up with that number before I even make the offer, all right? And you want to keep your emotions in check. Buying real estate can be an emotional process. You really got to just negotiate basically on the facts and what you think the property's worth, and try to see, how you can make the deal work, maybe not only just on the price, but on the terms as well, okay? And I think when you do that, you'll make a rational decision on what you'll pay and on the terms. Sometimes these negotiations get real personal, and it maybe makes sense just to say to the other side, okay, I understand, your position, and then maybe just take a break and let people cool down rather than just keep going at the person. And another thing that I see, which I sometimes don't even understand how people think that's a good idea, is they'll make an offer by text. And to me, I think that if you make an offer, you make a proper offer in writing, and then you follow it up with a phone call. And, that's the way to do it. So many of these deals go back and forth between text, and I think that that's just not a good way to do it. You know what I'm saying? I think another good thing too to do is that if you really don't feel good with the negotiations part of it, which a lot of people don't, even some of the most experienced investors don't like the negotiation process. You should try to have a realtor that's good at, negotiating. Some of these realtors are really, really worth their weight in gold, and they're excellent at negotiating a deal. Something I've done in the past too sometimes, and I think it's something you should consider. These are all things I think will help you make a better deal, and not only that, you could feel good that you didn't overpay. Sometimes people, they come in my office and they've made a deal and they'll ask me if that they're not so sure if it's a good price. But if you've done the research and you have the data and you know what it's worth, you're going to feel good about that purchase. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful. This has been Real Estate from an Attorney's Perspective. These are the types of things in negotiating we deal with all day long at work. And if anyone ever wants to reach out to me, I'm available. My number is 516-739-3090. I appreciate you watching. And if you could please like and share, it helps the channel.